Hey everyone, meet Kevin Paffrath here. In this video, I'm coming to you not as a candidate or someone in a suit, I'm coming to you as just another person. And that's because I want to share with you something that is very concerning to me for the future of not just California, but for America. See, it's worth noting that right now we are 6 days away from a historic election in California, one in which, if I were to win, I would become the youngest governor ever in the history of California, and we could finally bring transparency to government and change to government. But we've got to talk about what's happening and some of the problems that we face. Because no matter where you fall on the political spectrum, whether you're on the left or the right or you're on the middle or you're out on the extremes, it doesn't matter. I think we can all agree, I know we can all agree, that California needs change. And if California can change, our entire country can change. If California can fix its schools by finally teaching quality, practical skills like career-based training, business skills, sales skills, and financial education, then we know every state in the nation can do it. If we can end homelessness here, we can do it everywhere. If we could solve housing unaffordability here, we can do it everywhere. See, California isn't just the largest state in the nation by population. It is a symbol of America. When California is divided, on fire, without enough water, or blighted by death and decay on its streets like we have now, America as a whole suffers. We become more divided, more red versus blue. We become more violent, and political experiences and elections all become more extreme. So we're stuck. We end up getting stuck choosing between somebody on the far left or far right, not because we really care about the person on that far left side or on that far right side, but because we deathly fear the other person. That's what politics has come to. And then we collectively fail to address the true crises that we all face in the middle. Our schools don't get better. Our houses don't become more affordable. We don't build more houses. We end up having extreme laws that just polarize America even more. And hence, the truth about my campaign versus Governor Gavin Newsom and now Larry Elder. See, when I entered this race in May of this year, I was up against relative moderates who were talking about just these solutions. I was up against people like John Cox, Kevin Kiley, and Kevin Faulkner, who were by no means extremes. We kind of all agree. We gotta fix housing. We gotta fix homelessness. We gotta fix our schools. Like, come on, man. These are not extremes. We have different plans for them. I think my plans are better. I've got very realistic plans. I've got a lot of plans. Some of them are bold plans. Doesn't mean they're all good plans. Doesn't mean they're all plans that we would eventually do. But we've got plans, big plans. And we're going to make the best ones a reality. But there's no extremism. And when there was no extremism in this campaign against Governor Gavin Newsom, guess what happened? California looked at our governor and said, wait a minute. Has crime gotten worse? Has homelessness gotten worse? Has housing affordability gotten worse? Have schools gotten worse? Has the state of our state, essentially, the state of our state, gotten worse or better? Everything's gotten worse. And so when we were campaigning together to fight Governor Gavin Newsom, we started winning. In fact, the polls were showing just that. We saw a tightening in the likelihood of Governor Gavin Newsom being recalled. Take a look at this. Very early on in the process here, Governor Gavin Newsom had massive leads here in terms of being kept. 13% leads, 14%, 11%, 13%. Here's a 3, a 4, or 1 for remove, whatever. These are all pretty much keep Governor Newsom, right? But as soon as moderates started campaigning, things got a little tighter. Remove, 3, or a tie once adjusted. We got down to 5, 1, 6, 3 to keep Newsom. Things started getting really tight for him. And then this poll came out showing Gavin Newsom getting removed by 8 points or being kept by a very, very tight margin. This, by the way, here, this August 2nd poll is actually the same poll that showed me as a leading candidate on August 2nd to August 4th versus Larry Elder. There were some other polls that had me in the lead as well, or tied. And so what's interesting is when we were focused on moderate policies in California, the existing governor was a failure. And beating him was very, very almost easy. And nobody wants to get complacent. You never want to be complacent. You want to keep fighting. Every day, fighting to make sure we can make the change happen. And look at what we were up against. It's worth noting. This is a Governor Newsom ad. Many of you know I'm running as a JFK-style Democrat. This is a Governor Newsom ad to fight off this sort of attack of the moderates. Take a listen to this and see what the main points of this are.
The same Trump Republicans who refused to accept the presidential election are back, passing voter suppression laws across the country. Now they've set their sights on California, wasting hundreds of millions of our tax dollars, abusing the process to recall Governor Newsom. Different tactics, same assault on democracy. Right-wing Republicans won't stop their election rejections. So in California, we've got to stop them. Stop the Republican recall of Governor Newsom. It's a power grab.
All right, so what do you have here? You have two main arguments. You have one, the election is expensive, so why bother kicking out the governor? Keep him. Hey, this election's expensive, it's a waste of money. Two, Republicans are gonna suppress your right to vote. Really? It's a pretty weak ad. That was all Newsom had, because he couldn't stand on policy. He couldn't stand on being a better governor because his policies were not something you would want to highlight. Housing, homelessness, crime, schooling, You don't have friends here, okay? The governor does not have friends here. It's very easy to run against failure, okay? As you can see in this ad, it's this stretch. Oh, do you want Jim Crow election laws and the recall's expensive, so it's a waste, don't support it. That's all they had. Governor Newsom was failing miserably. Crime, schools, housing, homelessness, fail. Hypocrisy, corporate donations, greed. You had everything for a failed governor, to remove a failed governor. You had everything you needed. But everything changed on July 12th. Now, before I tell you what happened on July 12th, it's worth noting some very basics about California. And they're important basics about California. Over 60% of Californians are pro-women's rights. And when I say over 60%, I mean like probably 75% plus. Over 65% of Californians are pro-COVID restrictions. This is despite the fact that lockdowns bankrupted 1/3 of our restaurants in California, but we'll put that aside for a moment. Over 60% of Californians do not believe there was election fraud. So I'm telling you these statistics not to try to persuade you that there weren't issues with the election, or that you should believe a certain way on COVID restrictions, or that you should believe a certain way on women's rights to choose or whatever. This video is not about that. I just want you to know, characteristically, think of California, okay? It's obviously more left, and these are some of the main themes that you see in California, not for everyone, but at a greater percentage than elsewhere, right? I mean, you wouldn't see the same percentages in like a Texas or Florida or North Carolina or whatever, right? This should be intuitive. Hopefully we're on the same page here. So something happened on July 12th. On July 12th, Larry Elder entered the race. Now, what I'm about to read is not to bag on Larry Elder. It's to show you what ammunition Governor Gavin Newsom got to fight this recall. That's all I'm doing. It's kind of like I'm putting bullets on the table. I'm not taking shots at Larry, just putting the bullets on the table, and Gavin Newsom's picking them up. So if you support Elder, roll with this, because I want you to see what Gavin Newsom has done differently now and why it's very important. If you don't support Elder, we'll just roll with it as well. Okay, ready? Here's some quotes from Larry Elder's past. Quoting studies, he says, but it doesn't matter. There's still things that came out of his mouth. Women know less than men about political issues, economics, and current events. Glass ceiling? Ha! What glass ceiling? Larry Elder says he'd roll back COVID restrictions before he has his first cup of tea. Larry Elder says the minimum wage should be 0. Blacks exaggerate the significance of racism. Medicare should be abolished. How to be a good wife. Have dinner ready and don't complain. Larry Elder says he could not have sexually assaulted a woman because she was too unattractive for it to be possible. All you needed to do was look at a picture of her. Okay. These are various different quotes from Larry Elder's past in news articles, publications, and they've been repeated many different times. These are known attacks against Larry Elder. Now what I want to do is show you how a very weak Newsom campaign, which first said, miscellaneous Republicans are going to take away your rights, and they're wasting our money. That very weak argument, with Governor Newsom having no policy to stand on, and a very weak argument protecting him. Look what Governor Gavin Newsom has turned this into. Ready for this? Here's one of the latest ads.
Here's what you need to know about the September 14th recall. Voting yes elects an anti-vaccine Trump Republican. Voting no keeps Gavin Newsom fighting the pandemic based on science, compassion, and common sense. And here's the thing. If you don't vote, we could have an anti-vax Republican governor of California. So do your part to stop the spread. Every voter will receive a ballot in the mail. Mail your ballot or vote in person by September 14th. Vote no on the Republican recall.
All right, let's take a look at one more.
We are here today to fight for California's governor, to fight for Gavin Newsom. Governor Newsom fights for opportunity for all Californians. Voting no means women are respected, children are protected, and our planet is defended. Are you ready to get in this fight? Then let's get this done. Stop the Republican recall. Vote no. Vote no. Vote no.
So, things have changed a little bit. The first ad that I played for you a few minutes ago really had no emotion. Nothing got you kind of excited or riled up. It was, okay, it's expensive and really Jim Crow era in California. Okay, that's the best you got? That's not a good ad. The second two here are anti-vax, anti-woman, stop. The people who want to end fighting climate change and stop the Republicans and stop. Very emotional because it's based in fear. The first ad was just, it's expensive. You don't want Jim Crow era, voting law restrictions again, right? The second two are emotion. Oh my gosh, anti-vax versus science and compassion. Oh my gosh, anti-woman, anti-climate, anti-minimum wage. Oh! Or even just saying Trump in California is polarizing. It creates the fear of God, and it motivates a base to get out. It contributes to the extreme fireworks of media attention that drives the divisions we have in politics today between the left and the right. This California election has not become about solving the core issues that we have: homelessness, housing, schooling, fires, water. This has become against, or a matter of, fighting either the extreme right or the extreme left. It's gotten so bad that even Donald Trump is now on the front page of Google News. All the news that could be happening. Front page of Google News right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. And quite frankly, it doesn't help what Donald Trump is trying to accomplish, okay? Front page, Google News right now. Trump, without evidence, already claiming Gavin Newsom recall election is rigged. Okay, folks, this is on a private browser. We're gonna do it again. Look at that. See, private browser, news.google.com, literally front page right now. It's crazy. This is the kind of stuff that divides things more. Like, I know that Donald Trump, has very strong beliefs about election integrity, but the point is, a headline like that actually drives more Democrats out to vote against Larry Elder. People have the fear of God in them over stuff like this on both sides. Consider this: Gavin Newsom, a failed governor, versus the image, whether it's true or not, because Larry Elder obviously disputes these things, right? But whether it's true or not, it's the image of somebody anti-climate, anti-minimum wage, and anti-women's rights, and anti-vax. That is the image that's being portrayed. Now, you have fear driving voting. To the point where what I notice at Gavin Newsom rallies and at Larry Elder rallies is that at Larry Elder rallies, the supporters are all holding signs, which, remember how California stands, they're all holding signs saying things like, "My body, my choice," "No masks," no vaccines. It looks like an anti-vax rally. You go to a Gavin Newsom rally, you got the supporters, and then you have the counter-protesters. The counter-protesters are people dressed in like doctor scrubs and nurse scrubs, even though half of them aren't, or most of them aren't, screaming things like, "You can't force the vaccine on me, you can't force me to take it." It looks like this campaign, this whole election cycle, is literally a vote for ending the pandemic or like being anti-vax. That's what it feels like. It's what it looks like. Now, I'm not taking a stance on this. This video is not about me perpetuating my beliefs on masks or vaccines or all this. It's just to show you what happened to the core competent issues. We have a failed governor who sucks at our schools, who sucks for housing, who sucks for homelessness, who sucks for water, fires, lies to us, all of the things that matter in the very long term in California. And I'm not saying COVID doesn't matter, right? But these core issues have been replaced by fear. And so this is where I have to enlist your help. Get the vote out. Share this video. Share whatever video you want of mine. Use the Meet Kevin app. Take screenshots anytime you share something and join the competition. Got some cool rewards there as well. We can still win, but we have to vote. We are, in social media and in younger demographics, the largest voting base in America. Millennials, just for example, largest voting base that exists in America right now. Problem is, millennials tend to turn out the least, as we believe that our vote doesn't matter, partially because politics has become so about the extreme left or the extreme right. So we got to prove with every single vote that our voice matters and that we're voting for common sense, that we're voting for reason. This matters not just for California, this matters for America. You can't vote for the extreme left and the extreme right and expect to get anything but extreme left or extreme right. Doesn't make sense. So this is where I ask of you. Vote for Kevin Paffrath. If you are interested in supporting, consider helping out. Go to meetkevin.com/donate. Governor Newsom has 100 times more funding than we do, but I believe our advertising is at least 200 times more effective than his, because we actually talk solutions. But the big bottom line is, we have to be more fearful that we end up with somebody who's extreme left or extreme right than having somebody in California who can actually solve the problems we have in the middle. And that's where I stand, right in the middle. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. And folks, we'll see you in the next video.